y'all are having a great day so far. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie. I put out videos about books, babies, and beauty. So today's video is gonna be a bit of a book chat in general. I was originally gonna make it more of a review of The Kiss Thief by Shen. I don't know, there's a few other things that are kind of like on my mind a little bit, and I feel like I wanna just kind of talk about that. And hopefully somebody will comment or feels the same way I do. I don't know, I just have some thoughts. First thing I want to say is I originally wasn't going to talk about this, but as I was looking up the synopsis of what I'm going to talk about next, I saw the trailer for The Kissing Booth 2. Now, I actually have a friend who makes fun of me relentlessly for enjoying this movie, but I don't know, we like what we like, and I don't feel like we can change that. I enjoyed it. It was fun for me. I'm not saying it's thought-provoking. I'm not saying it's an important part of film history. I'm just saying it was enjoyable to me. So the reason why I'm involving in this in more of a book chat is because The Kissing Booth and The Kissing Booth 2, I do not remember the second name of the book, it might just be Kissing Booth 2, were both released on Wattpad, which I believe is a free reading service. I'm not sure. I'll put Wattpad down there, I'm not really sure. But it basically was a book. Now, did I like Kissing Booth enough to go read the book? No, because the movie is very, very cheesy. Like, cheese factor 10. You know, it was cute. The guys were attractive. I mean, what else could you want? I don't know. Go watch the trailer for number 2. It's so cute. It's on Netflix if that's like something that you actually want to go out and watch. You know, just full disclosure, it's very cheesy. Full disclosure, it's about it's about this girl and her best friend, and they're in high school. They were born the same day. Their mothers knew each other, and they're best friends. Well, they have a bunch of rules. One of the rules is you can't date somebody that person is related to. Well, guess what? She falls for his brother. Chaos ensues. The main thing is that this is all set in a high school setting, so it's where the cheese factor goes up to about 20. Anyway, enough about The Kissing Booth. Go watch it, make fun of me, I don't care. I like what I like and I am what I am. Isn't that what Popeye says? Another thing that has been on my mind is I've seen a lot of people put this on Facebook, and I've also seen a lot of like BuzzFeed articles and silly little articles about this movie. So 365 days or 365 Dini, which is what, whenever I watched it, this is all on Netflix by the way, whenever I watched it, that was what it was called on Netflix, Dini. And I think I watched it about a month, maybe a month and a half ago. I feel like I had watched it before I'd seen all these crazy things about it. I have so many thoughts on it. I just wanted to start off by saying I don't think it's the best. I don't know what the book is. I mean, I don't know the book because it's in Polish. It has not been translated to English. So this is a Polish book. Will I read it? No. Because it has all of the classic cheesy romance tropes without making them be very good. Now, was it an enjoyable movie? Yes. I don't think it's very hard for me to enjoy a movie, but I don't know. Ask my husband. He says I don't like good movies, but you know, also he liked, you know, Almost Heroes and Ernest Goes this and that, but anyway, that's a whole other thing. I thought it was interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and put this disclaimer in. Most of this talk is gonna be PG-13 and up. I'm definitely gonna keep my channel pretty clean. This is the closest movie I have ever seen that came to XXX on Netflix. So it's not for the faint of heart. Don't watch it if you want a little sweet romance. Not it. If you watch 50 Shades of Grey, read 50 Shades of Grey, the movie is probably like 1 or 2 steps up from XXX because I think it's a little bit more explicit in the actual scenes. Keep that in mind. If you thought that 50 Shades of Grey was a little bit clutch your pearls, then don't even come near this movie. I don't know, there's been comparisons and such and to 50 Shades of Grey, and I don't know, I didn't enjoy the 50 Shades of Grey movie at all. I read the books, and that's a whole nother story that I'm not willing to tell at the moment. I just want to say that there are much better romance novels out there. There's much better book boyfriends out there. It was explicit for no reason. The love was no, it was just, she falls in love with him. He says, this is the worst part, cringy. Are you lost, baby girl? Terrible! Hate it. He kidnaps her for 365 days and get her to love him. There's that factor. And so he thinks, oh, and he's a big mob, you know, rich guy. So she has 365 days to love him. Of course she fights against him. Of course she has all these things. She fights against him, right? Well, the point in which she's like, I love him. I want to get XXX with him. She falls off a boat that they're fighting on together. He basically makes her fall off the boat without pushing her, and then he saves her, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I love him. Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous, so terrible. I just can't. Might it help if I just read the synopsis instead of, you know, going on. I had it right here. Massimo is a member of the Sicilian Mafia family, and Laura is a sales director. She does not expect that on a trip to Sicily, trying to save her relationship, her dude's a butt, Massimo will kidnap her and give her 365 days to fall in love with him. I don't know, I guess that's what kind of drew me in, because I knew immediately from that little whatever synopsis on IMDb and on Netflix that was going to be based on a romance novel. I'm always going to watch a movie that's based on a romance novel. That's just who I am as a person. So that's my thoughts. If you're into Are You Lost, Baby Girl, and if you're into more of a cheesy kind of trope, I know I just said I love Kissing Booth because it's cheesy, but it's cheesy as in making fun of itself. This is cheesy as in it's way too serious. And Are You Lost, Baby Girl? The worst tagline. I could go, let me just say another point. I could go on and on and on about, in romance novels and books in general, there's always that one phrase, like it's hello sweetheart, or are you lost baby girl, or you know, something like that. It's terrible. In The Kiss Thief, they call each other nemesis, nem, and I hate it. I hate all of it. I hate it all. So yes, don't watch that unless you want XXX on your TV. The main reason why I wanted to come on here, because I had read The Kiss Thief. So my original idea, and this is the third time I've shot this video by the way, because I just feel like I didn't like the concept that I had going in, but now I like this concept a little bit more. So I originally was gonna do my makeup while talking about this book. Well, I can't do two things at once. I have a huge issue. I don't know, I think it's my ADHD. I cannot form a thought while I'm trying to do my makeup, but I could just talk normal, but you know, not like this, sort of like trying to explain something. Once I do these more and more, I might kind of do that a little bit. We'll see, stay tuned. I'm just gonna give like a brief synopsis, and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this book. Whenever I had decided I was gonna do this video, I was trying to see what book I wanted to read and talk about. Well, my genre of choice is romance. Now, do I think romance is gonna make me smarter? No. I don't even know if that sentence was grammatically correct. Do I think romance is going to bring anything to my life, these novels? No. Do I have like 1,000 questions, but it's not, I don't read it because of all those reasons. I read it because I enjoy it, it's an escape, and I love love. That's just who I am. I need to just keep putting that, because I am who I am. I am who I am, this is who I am as a person, and I'm sorry, I like these things. So if you don't like romance novels, you may not like my channel. And I'm totally up for reading other types of books. I do read other types of books. I have read other types of books. If you look at my library tour, I have some books, but I read most of my books on my Kindle, so that's why my bookshelf's a little bit bare. The whole point of that is, don't judge me for reading romance novels. So whenever I thought about this video, I wanted it to be something I felt comfortable with for my first kind of book review. And I also wanted it to be something a little bit popular. So this was on Goodreads 2019 best romance novel list. And I like the author, LJ Shen. I don't think I'm saying her name right, but I like the author. She has one of my very favorite enemies to lovers book, which is called Vicious. Very, very good. I just also want to say I like this book. I read it all in one setting. I have a lot of thoughts on it, because isn't it like the first thing we all come up whenever we're thinking about a review is all the critical things. I'm gonna go ahead and get the critical things out of the way. Oh, and I want to read the synopsis real quick for you. It has 4 stars on Goodreads. They say your first kiss should be earned. Mine was stolen by the devil in a masquerade mask under the black Chicago sky. They say vows you take on your wedding day are sacred. Mine were broken before we left the church. They say your heart only beats for one man. Mine split and bled for 2 rivals who fought for it until the bitter end. True. I was promised to Angelo Bendini, the heir of one of the most, I cannot read out loud, just for future reference, the heir to one of the most powerful families in the Chicago outfit. then taken by Senator Wolf Keaton, who held my father's sins over my head to force me into marriage. They say that all great love stories have a happy ending. I, Francesca Rossi, found myself erasing and rewriting mine until the very last chapter. One kiss, two men, three lives entangled together. And somewhere between these two men, I find my, I had to find my forever. I just ruined that last line, whatever. You get it. I will do my own synopsis here in a second. It's interesting. Another thing, I love a good mafia romance. I went through a binge 2 years ago where all I read was mafia romances. I could not get enough. And you know, I thought about for one video, I'm big on Goodreads, so if you're not on Goodreads and you like to read, what are you doing? There's one of my favorite things is the lists. So the mafia romance list, one thing I thought I would do is I've read at least 20 to 30 books in the mafia romance list. I'm thinking maybe I could do a little review of what I think about those books. We have the main characters are Francesca Rossi and Wolf Keaton. Also, those are the two main characters. They're supposed to be in love. And then we have Antonio Bandini, which we talked about in the synopsis. And then her parents, Arthur Rossi and Sophia Rossi. And then we have my personal favorite, Sterling. Love her. And then I don't remember her name and I couldn't find it. And she's just so inconsequential and I didn't like her character. So I'm gonna call her Blonde Reporter. As I talked about in the synopsis though, Francesca's family, I think a lot of times in mafia romances, the main trope in mafia romance is arranged marriage. This one, when you first start reading it, it seems a little bit, you know, progressive because she gets to choose out of all the mafia, the heads of the mafia outfit's son, who she wants. And so she picks Antonio. And Antonio, they've been seeing each other for years during the summer, things of that sort. They got a good foundation, I feel. So it seems great, it seems wonderful. Well, then she goes to the masquerade ball and it's supposed to be, she's 19 by the way, and it's supposed to be her like coming out sort of situation. Well, she's dressed as Nemesis, which I don't know about Greek mythology that much. I've never really kind of gone into that, but apparently she's the only one who could tame Narcissus, and we all know who Narcissus is. It's a god and goddesses masquerade. But of course the men, they just wear a mask and call it a day. She's at the table with Wolf Keaton and her parents and then two other higher ups, and it's set in Chicago. So of course they don't get along at first. He makes fun of, he's very aggressive because he doesn't enjoy that she's not gonna go off to college. And it's just a back and forth, and he basically is very rude to her and says that all she likes to do is garden. She just wants to be a little housewife, which is not what Francesca wants. She can't say that it's not what she wants because it would offend her dad. This is kind of old-fashioned, so they have a dance card, and on this dance card, of course, Antonio's on the dance card, and then Wolf is on the dance card. I want to kind of rewind back a little bit. So her family has a box, and all of the women, before they get married, they put a little note in the box. Well, there's 3 notes, and she decided that she was going to take one of the notes, and one of the notes says, "You'll kiss the love of your life tonight." And that's what made her say, I'm going to kiss Antonio. This is what's happening because Angelo, oh my gosh, I keep saying Antonio. I'm the worst. Okay, I'm gonna kiss Angelo tonight. The rest of my life is gonna start and we're gonna get married. 19 by the way. After she's danced and she's told Wolf about the box because she's just trying to prove to him, I'm more than just a gardening, you know, charity, you know, whatever. I'm more than that. So she goes outside to take a breath because she's had so many men on her dance card. And then she feels a male figure behind her. All of a sudden, the street lamp turns off. Guess who's behind her? It's Angelo. She turns around and she says, I'm gonna do it. And she kisses him. Whenever she kisses him, it's described as she feels like she's being brought to life. Well, all of a sudden she realizes, oh no, this guy tastes like whiskey. And Angelo's been drinking red wine all night. Well, it turns out it's Wolf Keaton, of course, and he's wearing Angelo's mask. Of course, he takes her first kiss, AKA the kiss thief. What you don't also know is that her dad, Arthur, and Wolf have a big thing together. They have a lot of issues stemming very far back. In the next scene, basically what happens is Wolf goes to her father and says, I have all these things over you. You're gonna let me marry your daughter. She's gonna come live with me. Well, her father ends up doing it, yes. Wolf makes him beg for his daughter. And one of the things Wolf does is he says he never begged. He goes downstairs and he says, pack your bags. We're getting married in 21 days and you're coming to live with me. So then it goes. The chaos ensues from there. What we have here is an arranged marriage, enemies to lovers, and in the very end there's another little surprising trope. So those are all those main tropes. My thoughts on this whole book. So clearly it's an enemies to lovers romance. It's a very good book, like I said before. So it's like any other typical enemies to lovers. There's back and forth, there's certain scenes that bring them together, certain things that bring them apart, right? To me, I had a really hard time enjoying the enemies to lovers aspect of this book because, I don't know, I didn't find Wolf very likable for a long time. So it goes between two perspectives, Francesca's and Wolf's. And I didn't feel the love there. In his perspective, it was just not, I don't know, he was not likable. Up until 85% of the way through the book, he was not likable. And that's my big problem with it. If it's an enemies to lovers book, at least 50% of the way through, there's gotta be some sort of change. There's gotta be some sort of hope. Maybe they aren't, you know, perfectly in love at that point, but there's gotta be a little something. You can't tell me 15% of the book there's gonna be good parts. What's the point? Especially if he's not likable. So I didn't find Wolf's character to be super likable, honestly. He would not open himself up. The only person he opened himself up to was Sterling. And I won't tell you the ending of that because that is just a very like blow your mind, wow, who Sterling is. Sterling. Love her. It's his housekeeper. And she's so sweet. Francesca likes to garden. She's stuck in this house with this person she doesn't like. She starts gardening. Sterling helps her. And of course, like in any book movie, she talks to herself while she gardens. And so Sterling listens to her, Wolf listens to her, talking to the flowers, the radishes, all these sorts of things. I love Sterling. She's always trying to push them together, trying to get Francesca to understand that Wolf just needs to be open, he just needs to be cracked apart. So Sterling's trying to get them together and she eavesdrops and she's so funny and I love her, love her, love her. She's my favorite part of the book. Just to also touch on more characters, Arthur Rossi, terrible. That's her dad. Her mom is nice. I think in any mafia romance, I have known nothing about the mafia, okay? I don't know anybody in the mafia. The only knowledge I have of anything is based on romance novels. So romance novel level mafia information is that the wife is always ever suffering and then the husband always just doesn't care. In this book, Sophia Rossi plays wonderful at the ever-suffering wife. She loves her daughter, but she can't really do anything about it. I think the characters are really well fleshed out. I really do. Angela could be fleshed out a little bit more. No, I think there was a lot of like development with Francesca. Even though she was 19, oh by the way, she's 19 and Wolf's 30. So even though she's 19, I think that she handled herself well. What else are you supposed to do? You're taken. And what are you supposed to do? I think that it was a good book. On like an enemies to lovers scale, I would give it a 3.5 just because I just needed more. I needed Wolf to be a little bit more likable. I don't know. He was, of course, like the alpha male, but he needed to have a little bit more love. These are all my opinions, okay? I'm not a literary critic. These are my opinions based upon feelings that I had. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more love there. I wanted it to be more loving. He keeps everybody away. He won't open himself up. It's a frustrating back and forth and up and down, and there is a scene that is questionable consent. Trigger warning on that. But other than that, I thought it was a good book. If you're gonna read it, it's more of a darker romance. I read romances that go to a darker place than this, but I would say just based upon one scene that it's a little bit more of a darker romance. Overall, it's a good read if you are interested. I just read 1,000 mafia books. I feel like it wasn't good for me in hindsight to read that because I just read a bunch of them. So I need something new and fresh. I'm in a really weird niche of books. I need to find some new books. So please comment down below if there's anything you want me to review. I know this wasn't really a great review. It's just mainly me stating my opinions, but that's what we're here for. Comment down below if there's a book you want me to talk about. I'd love to do that. I can review next. I'm reading a book for my book club called Something in the Water. I read it last year or the year before. It's very good, but I could talk about that. It's a mystery. That's a change. I will say that I've kind of decided the way my YouTube's gonna go is gonna be a lot more about books, babies, and beauty, okay? It's gonna be a lot about books. Strap in for the ride. Thank you all so much. I hope y'all have a great, wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you're interested in babies, books, and beauty, and have a good day.